So, since my last video triggered the junkies that cyber stalk me, um, I've decided to just post a few more hilarious details. So, the new roommate, the second junkie that's moved in, when she was trying to bullshit me that she smokes weed medicinally because it helps her seizures, and I pointed out that it actually makes her seizures worse by increasing her blood pressure. I also stated that the one very slim medicinal aspect of marijuana is it's an appetite stimulant. So it's been available in pill form, Marinol, since the 80s for people in chemotherapy. This doesn't kill cancer. Now, I just want to address that retarded lie real fast. So, tumor cells are made up of the same cellular material that your body is. Cancer is part of your body's cells. If you kill cancer, if it's tumor suppressant, that means it's causing cellular apoptosis, which also kills healthy, normal living cells that are part of your organs and the structures of your body in general. So if something is killing cancer, that means it's killing healthy, normal cells as well. So it's very toxic and shouldn't be used by people unless they're dying with cancer. And there's different types of cancer, different types of, etc. But when I pointed out, so it's a lie. It doesn't cure cancer or kill cancer. It causes cancer. Hence, Bob Marley died of cancer despite smoking weed all his fucking life. But when I told her the weight gain thing, she died on the inside. You can see it on her face because she's a fat girl. And my prediction of behavior there, which turned out to be accurate, was that despite my telling her the risks and the warnings of this drug that she is claiming is medicinal, but is actually having the opposite effect, she'll still do it anyway. She can't stop. It's addictive. She's an addict. And sure enough, despite my telling her this, she kept on smoking. She also smoked cigarettes, which of course are totally good for seizures too, right? And yesterday I saw her purchase like a mountain of food, which explains why she's like a mountain of fat because she eats a mountain of food because she's on a drug that causes, appetite stimulation. But the other junkie, dude, so like my toilet paper went missing from my cupboard. There wasn't much left. I wasn't really concerned about it. But then it reappeared yesterday on the sink as someone else's toilet paper. And I thought that was odd. Maybe someone ran out of their toilet paper and so they just, used mine. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a few, like it was already almost done anyway. But I guess his drug addiction is making him steal toilet paper from the roommates. If it was him, it might have been the other girl, but that feeds into my anticipated outcome of the result of these drug addictions and the addicts that they're not it's not benefiting them the way they think it is in their minds, especially if they're stealing toilet paper from a cripple. And on to Bible study. So I finished Judges today. The story of Samson was quite hilarious. The 16:1, Judges book 16 verse 1. He went to Gaza and slept with a prostitute. Just started a war with the Philistines, the Palestinians, essentially. And then, he dies, or that's a very famous story. But after that, the tribe of Dan seems to be wandering nomads. They haven't quite received their inheritance yet in terms of land to settle on. And so they see these people of Laish. Laish? And the people of Laish are doing nothing wrong. It specifies that in the verses. The nothing to be embarrassed about. They're not sinning. They're not doing idol worship, even though Micah was doing idol worship, and the tribe of Dan stole the idols that he made and worshipped them themselves, with the Levite leading the worship of the idols. Like, and so they decided to take the town of Laish because they were just sitting ducks. Like, they were good people, they were decent people, they did nothing wrong, they didn't attack Israelites or anything. They were just, they had no allies and they were isolated, so nobody would hear them being attacked. Now, in forensic psychology, when I'm analyzing, murders with geographic profiling, there are locations like this where they are very far away from anybody, and this reduces the risk of detection, right? No one can hear the victim scream, no one will find the victim's remains for a long period of time to where the medical examiner cannot determine the cause of death because it was 2, 3, 10 years before the remains were found and all the soft tissue was gone. That sort of thing. That was the exact sort of predatory profile intelligentsia of the children of Israel, right? Bnei Israel, tribe of Dan, against the people of Laish. And it was quite hilarious because there was no justification other than they had something the Jews wanted, and that made them the enemy. So it's anti-Semitic to own something that a Jew wants to steal in the Bible. And it just got even more psychotic after that because they had like a repeat of Sodom and Gomorrah, but slightly different, but not by much, where some Jew was traveling and he ended up in I think it was Gilead or something, like Gibeon. I can't even remember now, but he stayed at an inn or with this old man in this town because no one would invite him in, and then all the townspeople showed up and they said, "Send him out so we can rape him to death." He's like, "No, take this woman instead." And so the man's concubine that he traveled all this way to retrieve ended up getting shoved out and they raped her to death. And so the guy took the wife's body back and chopped it up and sent each parts to each of the 12 tribes of Israel, which started this whole war from, all these different tribes against like the tribe of Judah against Benjamin. And they asked Hashem, should we go to war or something like that? Who should we send first? And the voice of God said, Judah should go first. So this is a schizophrenic symptom. These are command hallucinations. Like, God is telling the tribes to war with each other of his chosen people. Like, how does that make any sense? And then later on, the same thing happens again on the second day, and God's like, "Yeah, do it." And so, like, why is the tribe of Benjamin defending their, Sodomites or whatever? Like, just so much fucking retardation. It's wild.